Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's 17th of March today and it's currently 11:52 a.m. Not a.m., it's p.m. It's late at night. As you all know, I've been recording for past 11 days and I think my progress is going very smooth. Today my day was productive. I did what I wanted to do. I planned for more but I couldn't do it. I had some work, or I should say I had some other commitments I had to take care of. That's why I couldn't complete my other commitments which I planned to do. But that's okay. I'll try to do as much as I can every day. I think I can do better, but I just need some more time. I'm new to this and I think I'll do better day by day. I have come very far since when I started, but I have a way far way to go. So that's it. Without wasting any further time, let's start today's read. We have been reading for 20 minutes. We'll set up the timer. 21 minutes. And today our objective is to read from page number 93. Sorry if I stalled a bit, but I was searching for where I left off. If you have any way to find out where you left off the previous day, please comment down. It will help me, because I do spend a lot of time searching for where I left, even though I put a bookmark on the page I left, but I don't remember at which point I left reading. So you helping would be very useful. So let's start. We are on page number 93. We have to start from the second last paragraph. Let's start without any further delay. Let's go. This is the timer. Let's start. Once a habit has been encoded, the urge to act follows whenever the environmental cues reappear. Whenever the environmental cues reappear. This is one reason behavior change techniques can backfire. Shaming obese people with weight loss presentations can make them feel stressed, and as a result, they may return to their favorite coping strategy, overeating. Showing pictures of blackened lungs to smoker leads to a high level of anxiety, which drives many people to reach for a cigarette. If you are not careful about cues, you can cause the very behavior you want to stop. Bad habits are autocatalytic. The process feeds itself. They foster the feelings. They foster the feelings they try to numb. You feel bad, you eat junk food. Junk food. You eat junk food, you feel bad. Watching television makes you feel sluggish, so you want more television because you don't have the energy to do anything else. Worrying about your health makes you feel anxious, which causes you to smoke to ease your anxiety, which makes your health even worse, and soon you'll feel more anxious. It's a downward spiral, a runaway trail of bad habits. Researchers refer to this phenomena as cue-induced wanting. An external trigger causes a compulsive craving to repeat a bad habit. Once you notice something, you begin to want it. This process is happening at the time. This process is happening all the time, often without us realizing it. Scientists have found that showing addicts a picture of cocaine for just 33 milliseconds stimulates the reward pathway in the brain and sparks desire. This speed is too fast for the brain to continuously register. The speed is too fast for the brain to consciously register. The addict couldn't even tell what they had just seen, but they craved the drug all the same. Here's the punchline: you can break a habit, but you are unlikely to forget it. Once the memory, once the mental grooves of habit have been carved into your brain, they are nearly impossible to remove entirely. Even if they go unused for quite a while, that means that simply resisting temptation is an ineffective strategy. It is hard to maintain a Zen attitude in life filled with interruptions. It takes too much energy. In short, in short run, you can choose to overpower temptation. In the long run, we become a product of the environment that we live in. To put it bluntly, I have never seen someone consistently stick to positive habits in negative environment. A more replicable approach is to cut bad habits off at source. One of the most practical ways to eliminate bad habits is to reduce exposure to cues that cause it. If you cannot seem to get any work done, leave your phone in a if you cannot seem to get any work done, leave your phone in another room. Leave your phone in another room for a few hours. If you are continually feeling like you're not enough, stop following social media accounts that trigger jealousy and envy. If you are wasting too much time watching television, move out of the TV bedroom. Move the TV out of your bedroom. If you are spending too much money on electronics, quit reading reviews for the latest tech gear. If you are playing too many video games, unplug the console and put it in a closet after each use. This practice is an inversion of first law of behavior change. Rather than making it obvious, you can make it invisible. I'm often surprised by how effective simple changes like this can be. Remove a single cue and the entire habit often fades away. Self-control is a short-term strategy, not a long-term one. You may be able to resist temptation once or twice, but it's unlikely you can muster the willpower to override your desires every time. Instead of summoning a new dose of willpower whenever you want to do the right thing, your energy would be better spent optimizing your environment. This is the secret to self-control. Make the cues of your good habits obvious and cues of your bad habits invisible. Chapter summary. The inversion of first law of behavior change is make it invisible. It's an inversion of the first law of behavior change. Once a habit is formed, it's unlikely to be forgotten. People with high self-control tend to spend less time in tempting situations. It's easier to avoid temptation than resist it. It's easier to avoid than resisting. Yeah, that's a very good line. One of the most practical ways to eliminate a bad habit is to reduce exposure to the cue that causes it. Self-control is a short-term strategy, not a long-term one. How to create a good habit. The first law. Make it obvious. 1.1. Fill out the habit scorecard. Write down your current habits to become aware of them. 1.2. Use implementation intention. I will behavior at time in location. 1.3. Use habit stacking. After current habit, I will new habit. 1.4. Design your environment. Make the cues of good habits obvious and visible. The second law. Make it attractive. The third law. Make it easy. The fourth law. Make it satisfying. How to break a bad habit. Inversion of the first law. Make it invisible. 1.5. Reduce exposure. Remove the cues of your bad habits from your environment. Inversion of the second law, make it unattractive. Inversion of the third law, make it difficult. And inversion of the fourth law, make it unsatisfying. I hope my voice is clear. There is a dog outside. It's a stray dog. And she just keeps barking every day, every night. She's very scared. I think that's why she keeps on doing this. I pity her, but I cannot do anything about it. It's like, it is what it is. You cannot change what is going on outside. You can help it, but you cannot change it. It's the way of their life. I'm not trying to sound insensitive. I've tried many things, but she's just way too afraid of everything she sees. She won't even come close to me. And it's been like 3-4 months since I've been feeding her and doing everything for her. I don't think she will ever trust anyone again. She has a son. He is a bit playful, but he is also very scared because other dogs um, try to bully these dogs very often. And night is a very sensitive time when they get attacked the most by other dogs of the society. I feel bad. I hope it gets good for them. We are on chapter 8, how to make a habit irresistible. In the 1940s, a Dutch scientist named Nico Tinbergen performed a series of I cannot read. Wait a minute. Yeah, so we are now on the second law of this book, and that is make it attractive. We are on chapter number 8, how to make a habit irresistible. In the 1940s, a Dutch scientist named Nico Tinbergen performed a series of experiments that transformed our understanding of what motivates us. Tinbergen, who eventually won a Nobel Prize for his work, was investigating herring gulls, the grey and white bird often seen flying alongside seashores of North America. Adult herring gulls have a small red dot on their beak, and Tinbergen often noticed that new hatched chicks would peck the spot whenever they wanted food. To begin one experiment, he created a collection of fake cardboard beaks, just a head without a body. When the parents had flown away, he went over to the nest and offered these dummy beaks to the chicks. The beaks were obvious fakes, and he assumed the baby birds would reject them altogether. However, when the tiny gulls saw the red spot on the cardboard beak, they picked it away just as if it were attached to their own mother. They had a clear preference for those red spots, as if they had been genetically programmed at birth. Soon Tinbergen discovered that the bigger the red spot, the faster the chicks peeked. Eventually, he created a beak with 3 large red dots on it. When he placed it over the nest, the baby birds went crazy with delight. They pecked at the little red patches as if it was the greatest beak they had ever seen. Tinbergen and his colleague discovered similar behavior in other animals. For example, the grey-legged goose. is a grounding nest bird. Occasionally, as the mother moves around the nest, one of the eggs will roll out and settle on the grass nearby. Whenever this happens, the goose will waddle over to the egg and use its beak and neck to pull it back into the nest. Tinbergen discovered that the goose will pull at any nearby round object, such as a billiard ball or a light bulb, back into the nest. The bigger the object, the greater the response. One goose even made a tremendous effort to roll a volleyball back and sit on top of it. Oh, like the baby gulls automatically pegged at right dots, the grey lag goose was following an instinctive rule. When I see a round object nearby, I must roll it back to the nest. The bigger the round object, the harder I should try to get it. It's like the brain of each male is preloaded with certain rules for behavior, and when it comes across an exaggerated version of that rule, it lights up like a Christmas tree. Scientists refer to this exaggerated cues as supernormal stimuli. A supernormal stimuli is the heightened version of reality, like a beak with three red dots or an egg the size of a volleyball, and it elicits a strong response than usual. So stronger response than usual. Humans are also prone to fall for this exaggerated version of reality. Junk food, for example, drives our reward system into a frenzy. After after spending hundreds and thousands of years hunting and foraging for food in the wild, the human brain has evolved to place a high value on salt, evolved to a place a high value on salt, sugar, and fat. Such foods are often calorie dense, and they were quite rare when our ancient ancestors were roaming the savannah. When you don't know what the next meal is coming from, where next meal is coming from, eating as much as possible is an excellent strategy for survival. Today, however, we live in calorie we live in calorie-rich environment. Food is abundant, but your brain continues to crave it like it's scarce. Placing a high value on salt, sugar, and fat is no longer advantageous to our health. But the craving persists because the brain reward centers have not changed for approximately 50,000 years. The modern food industry relies on stretching our Paleolithic instincts beyond their evolutionary purpose. The primary goal of food science is to create products that are more attractive to consumers. Nearly every food in a bag, box, or jar has been enhanced in some way, if only with if only with added additional flavoring. Companies spend millions of dollars to discover the most satisfying level of crunch in a potato chip or the perfect amount of fizz in a soda. Entire departments are dedicated to optimizing how a product feels in your mouth, a quality known as oro sensation. French fries in your mouth, a quality known as oro sensation. French fries, for example, are a potent combination, golden brown and crunchy on the outside, light and smooth on the inside. Other processed food enhance dynamic contrast, which refers to items with combination of sensation. Other processed food enhance dynamic contrast, which refers to items with combination of sensations like crunchy and creamy. Imagine the gooiness of melted cheese on top of a crispy pizza crust, or the crunch of an Oreo cookie combined with its smooth center. With natural unprocessed food, you tend to experience the same sensations over and over. How is that 17th bite of kale taste. After a few minutes, with natural unprocessed food, you tend to experience the same sensations over and over. How is that 17th bite of kale taste? After a few minutes, your brain loses interest and you begin to feel full. But foods that are high in dynamic contrast keep the experience novel and interesting, encouraging you to eat more. Uh, Ultimately, such strategies enable food scientists to find the bliss point for each product. The precise combination of salt, sugar, and fat that excites your brain and keeps you coming back for more. The result, of course, is that you overeat because hyperpalatable foods are more attractive to human brain. As Stephen Guyenet, a neuroscientist who specializes in eating behavior and obesity, says, "We have gotten we have gotten to we have gotten too good at pushing our own buttons. We have gotten too good at pushing our own buttons." The modern food industry. What the hell is going on? I'll come back. The modern food industry and the overeating habits it has spawned is just one example of the second law of behavioral change. Make it attractive. The more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become habit forming. Look around. Society is filled with highly engineered versions of reality that are more attractive than the world our ancestors evolved in. Stores features mannequins exaggerated store featured mannequins with exaggerated hips and breasts to sell clothes. Social media delivers more likes and praises in a few minutes than we could ever get in the office or at home. Online porn splices together stimulating uh, together stimulating where was I? Stimulating scenes that at a rate that would be impossible to replicate in real life. At a rate that would be impossible to replicate in real life. Advertisements are created with combination of ideal lighting, professional makeup and Photoshop edits. Even the model doesn't look like the person in the final image. These are the these are the supernormal stimuli of our modern world. They exaggerate features that are naturally attractive to us, and our instincts go wild, as a result driving us into excessive shopping habits, social media habits, porn habits, eating habits, and many others. If history serves as a guide, the opportunities of the future will be more attractive than those of today. The trend is for rewards to be the trend is for rewards to become more concentrated and stimuli to become more enticing. Rewards to become more concentrated and stimuli to become more enticing. Junk food is more concentrated form of calories than natural food. Hard liquor is more concentrated form of alcohol than beer. Video games are more concentrated form of play than board games. Compared to nature, these pleasure-packed experiences are hard to resist. We have the brains of our ancestors, but temptation they never had to face. If you want to increase the odds that a behavior will occur, then you need to make it attractive. Throughout our discussion of the second law, our goal is to learn how to make our habits irresistible. While it's not possible to transform possible to transform every habit into a normal stimulus. We can make a habit more enticing. To do this, we must try to understand. We must start by understanding what a craving is and how it works. We begin by examining a biological signature that all habits share the dopamine spike. We begin by examining a biological signature that all habits share the dopamine spike. And today we read up to page number 105. If you can see, we have to start from this point tomorrow. I think I read at a very good pace today, even though I was disturbed in the middle. I think I read pretty good. Like, now I have to summarize what I read today. So we completed the previous chapter where we talked about bad habits, how opposite of making a cue more visible makes a good habit more easier to be performed. There's an other side too, like if you make a bad habit more invisible, you tend to perform it very less, and that's how you leave a bad habit. I couldn't understand this line. People with high self-control tend to spend less time in tempting situations. It's easier to avoid temptation than resist it. I could understand the second one, but the first line is like a bit confusing. Like how someone who has high self-control tend to spend less time in tempting situations. Okay, so a person like, let me explain. There is a person you feel like he has very much self-control. He's not like that because he has a great willpower. He just keep uh, himself surrounded by those bad habits, and he does not perform them. He has he spends less time in tempting environments, like situations. That's why he does not perform those habits. If he would have fallen back to those habits eventually. So no one is Superman. To avoid an habit, you have to make it invisible. That's what we did, and this was the inversion of the first law of behavior change. Rather than making it obvious, make it invisible. Then we read about this table, which told us to how to create a good habit, and how to break a bad habit. And I think it's visible. If you want it, you can read this table. I read it anyway, but if you want a visual representation, you can refer it. Then we came to the second law, which was make it attractive. I read about 3 pages here, not three, 4 pages, and it was basically how making a habit more attractive makes it more exciting to follow. For example, he gave the experiment a Dutch scientist named Nico Tinbergen performed on what word he performed it on two birds, herringgulls and grey and white birds. Herringbirds, and there was one more word. Yeah, grey lag goose. For Herringbird, he used the beak with red dot example. When he increased the size of the red dot and placed many red dots, the chicks, what we call it, the baby birds, got very much excited than just seeing a small red dot on their mother's beak. And for these grey-lag goose, it was designed to pull back anything round near its nest, to back to its nest, even if it was. And the bigger the object is, the more it had to put efforts to put it back in the nest. And he knew it, and he did it every time. He even tried to, not even try, he did pull back a volleyball into its nest and sat on top of it. So that's a bit funny. Yeah, they explain how in real life overstimulation or making a thing over exciting makes us people follow it way more. And that's happening everywhere in today's world, be it Instagram, be it YouTube, be it any YouTube videos. They're trying to make it more attractive for people to get habituated to it. And I think that's the reason why I'm trying to make this video so unfiltered that I don't think anyone can follow up until this point. I have been saying this for my past 3-4 videos. At the end of the videos, that no one does follow up until the end. If they would have, I would have known in the analytics. I have been seeing the analytics sometime in the day, but I don't think anyone watches it. I don't feel bad. It's okay, it's their choice. I cannot force them, but I feel like it's not good for them. Not because they are not just watching my videos, it's because they are not able to watch a video which is very boring. They are not able to sit in a boring condition. And that's, I think, is the problem in today's generation and today's time. No one is able to sit idle. And that's the reason why I'll keep making no cuts, no trims videos like this, unfiltered, because I think first of all it's easier, it's more convenient to record, and I do get to upload whatever I want. And half an hour is not a less time. Talking for half an hour and uploading it is a task in itself. And I can do so much more with this half an hour. I'm just trying to begin. I'm just at a beginning stage until I get so good at English speaking that I can articulate stories, thoughts, and my feelings. Until then, I don't think I'm ready. And there is a long way to go up to that point. I think you tell me, when should I start? When should I change the... See, my main goal is to get better at speaking so that I can do what I want with this channel. I do want some different stuff. This is not the main thing I want to follow on this channel. I want to do different stuff. But the first step towards that is trying to speak better English, because I don't want to target just the audience in my native language. There are a bit way too much audience. There are very much audience in my language, but I do want to gather a more international viewership, if you know what I mean. I want quality over quantity, if that makes sense. I hope you like I like you. I hope you like today's read. We're up to page number 105. Here is that page again. We have to start from this part from tomorrow. Until then, goodbye. See you soon.